So, it's absolutely freezing in here today. I've only got this tiny little oil-filled radiator. Absolutely no insulation in here at all, but I've got plenty of time because work is slow at the moment, so I'm going to try and crack on as best possible and put up with it. Thank you if you've subscribed already, it means a lot. My first target is 1,000 subscribers so I can monetize the channel. Don't know how long it's going to take to do that. I think I was at 46 subscribers last time I looked, which is, to be honest, more than I expected at this stage. I'm obviously still learning how to edit and become more comfortable in front of the camera. It's something I've never felt comfortable with in the past, but I thought I'd give it a go. And I'm enjoying it so far. That's the main thing at the end of the day. Anyway, this is where we left up with the car the other day. Millions of spaces on the front, arches are on, and just over the moon with the result. Like I said, considering they're for a completely different car, I'm so happy with the overall fitment. The tyres from Tyre Streets eventually arrived after, I believe it was 2 weeks and 1 day. And I've got my wheels over there, so I need to go and have some tyres fitted up so I can get the rears on. I've just got the other front on the back at the moment, but I think for today I'm going to fit the arches on the other side, get them all mocked up, so that's done. And then I can set about pulling the front end to bits to do the upper and lower arm extensions to fulfill the arches with track width properly. I can get some measurements now the arches are on there, so that will be the next thing. Let's crack on. I've taken the arches off the car. Just going to lay one arch on top of the other and I can mark through all the holes. So all the holes are in the same place, and where I've scribed to match the door line, I can mark that and cut that the same as well. It doesn't really matter because you can't see both sides at the same time, but it's nice to get them as close as you can. And then I shall mark a couple of dating points on the car where the arches sat and take measurements and just replicate to the other side. Also, another nice bodgy little nasty trick. Obviously I wouldn't do this if I wasn't painting the car, but as I'm painting the car, I've just got a silver rattle can and squirted up the underside of the arch where the thing sits, and then a little finger mark around the outside in the overspray to mark the outside of the arch. That gives an indication as to pretty much where I can cut to give an accurate finish just below the arch. I mean, obviously the fittings have all got to stay, but yeah, save trimming and measuring and trimming and measuring, just spray cut, do it once, job done. So that'll save some time. On with the other side. So I've taken some measurements from the other side and just used a white paint pen to mark 3 dating points on the body, and that gives me absolutely everything I need to see both the position of the arch height wise, where it should end in relation to the door shut, and the back mark just gives the rotation to ensure it's in the same place. So that's all I need. I can go ahead and mark that, drill some holes, and it should be in an identical position to the other side. Two extra complications today. As you probably saw in that last clip, my Bosch batteries have seen better days. They're showing fully charged, but when I try and cut anything, they keep turning themselves off. So I'll have to buy some new Bosch batteries now. And the other thing, I'm assuming that's windscreen washer bottle behind the wing, so I'll have to jack it up and remove that before the over fender will sit in there nicely. But the rear is on. I think what I'm going to do is cut this section off along here, and then this gap will fill in and it'll remove all the lower section that doesn't fit as well. It's a bit of a shame because the lower part comes down a lot lower than the standard sill and in further and makes the car appear a bit lower. But I'm going to have to run the car super low anyway due to the arch gap, and you can see how much wider. That's the stock wheel with no spacers. The arch is absolutely massive, so it's going to be a chunky boy when it's done. So yeah, as a warning, if you are watching this video and you think, I know what I'm going to do, those arches look really cool, I'm going to put them on my street car. Please note that you will have to relocate your washer bottle. This is a track car, so I literally couldn't care less, but the rebate, one-handed, this little recess in the front arch needs to be cut out, and the washer bottle sits directly behind there and there isn't enough space. So these arches on a street car, unless you're willing to relocate that somewhere else, really aren't worth the hassle. So the same with the front as the rear, but this time I've just put a white dome point there and one at the back there, because the front meets up with the bottom of the front wing, so there's no need to mark the front. So I'll go ahead and drill some holes in that now. So as you saw, I had trouble getting the riv nut gun out again. I had to use a big pair of pliers to rotate the end. I think what's happening, probably won't focus in there, because I'm only using aluminium inserts, because I've only got a cheap nasty riv nut gun. I think I'm just pulling it a little bit too hard and pulling the threads out of the insert. Stainless steel ones would probably be a better option, but the gun struggles to do them. I've bent the handle, I don't know if you can see that. I've bent the handle a little bit. Using stainless ones in the past, I think that's probably the other reason it doesn't work so well now. So I think I need one of those telescopic sort of scissor action riv nut tools and use the stainless steel inserts rather than the aluminium ones, but it's doing the job for now anyway. I think that is the thing that's causing the problem. So, standard rims, no spacers, and this is the mess you end up with. Just as a reference point, nearest down at 70mm wider than stock at the front. And 85 at the back. So yeah, that's massive. I have, hopefully this will look alright when the bigger wheels are fitted. I don't know if you can see from that, I've gone slightly further back from the centre of the arch with the over, basically because when the track width is increased and it has more steering angle and wider, larger wheels, the back side of the wheels always tends to hit. S13s are really common for it when you've got side skirts on, and so a Wise Fab kit or similar. My MX-5s were the same, so this is always something to take into consideration. So I've just mounted the arch further back. The front shouldn't be a problem because it's doesn't come right the way round. Basically, it stops there. So yeah, the back is the consideration to sort of make. So hopefully by doing that I've avoided any problems there. I can always sort of reposition the arch if necessary, but I think that'll be okay once it's all done. So that is as far as I need to get with those for now. They're on. I'll decide on trimming that. I think that's the only option with that, is to trim that just above the step there so it meets nicely. I think that'll work well. The front fits well. I still need another couple of fittings in there and figure out how to hold it in position there. The original thought was I was going to have to bond them on the car, but how well they meet up and how many fittings I've got in the back, I'll just get some of them fender washer, the washers that come with these style countersunk nuts, and go all the way around there. That's tidy enough. On the front, maybe some sort of little bracket coming off that underneath, or just leave where I cut there, leave a little tab so it can be bent up, reinforced, and then some more fittings into there just to hold that in. But slightly off my mark, but when it meets up with the front, that'll be there. Not bad, not bad at all. So the other thing I want to do today, I've had a couple of questions on the videos and I've been private messaged quite a number of times now actually about disabling the traction control on these. So I haven't tested it yet. A friend had one and he unplugged the ABS pump and removed the relay, and his was fine apparently. So I've completely removed the ABS pump, I've removed the ABS fuse. Without the ABS working, there's basically sensor rings on the back and on the front. The ECU basically works out the wheel speed difference between the rear wheels and the front wheels, working from the ABS rings, and then can enable the traction control if the rear wheels exceed the speed of the front wheels, is the general idea. So technically, all you really have to do is remove the rear ABS sensor wires. I've done this before on BMWs. I have been told by somebody that the ECU needs a speed signal or it goes into limp mode. Whether that's true or not, well, we'll soon find out. So I'm going to jack the back of the car up, put the spacers on the rear and remove the wheels, just in case it does fall off the stands. It hasn't happened in the past, but you never know. If it's got no wheels on it, it can't crash through the front doors and smash up my trailer and everything in front of it and potentially injure someone. So, you know, when I've done things like this in the past, I've always just removed the rear wheels, bolt the spacers on to keep the discs in position, and then we can stick the thing in first gear once it's warmed up, see if it'll hit the rev limiter. So that is the car on stands. I'll just put a stand each side in front of the wheels. Wheel spacers bolted on to keep the discs in place. They should have like a locating bolt bolting the disc to the hub, but sometimes you find people take these out and don't bother putting them back in again. So I always just make a point of bolting a set of spacers on, because I've always got something kicking around, and I just put a jack underneath the diff. The weight is on the axle stands, but just taking a little bit of the load with that. Hopefully the car will still start. If not, I'm wasting my time. Good SLK. So I'm going to let it warm up for a little while before doing this, because hasn't been started for quite a long time, well, run properly for quite a long time. I did start it and run up to temperature a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, I'll just let it go up to temperature and then we'll see if the thing will hit the rev limiter. So it's got a little bit of temperature. I'm not going to go too mad. I just want to see if it'll hit the limiter just once. So put it in first gear, just a little bit of handbrake to load it up a little bit. Here we go. Well, I think I'd safely say that's done the job. It hits the limiter, no problem at all. So yeah, happy with that. So yeah, what I'd heard about the ECU still needing a speed signal isn't true. There's obviously the front wheels weren't spinning, they were on the floor. The ABS is completely disconnected with the pump removed. The ABS relay is removed and it just goes straight up to the limiter and bounces off it. So yep, no problem at all. The only thing, obviously, this is a track only car, so I'm not sure how removing the ABS pump would affect an MOT if you've got a street car, or the equivalent of an MOT wherever you are in the world. Here we used to remove the ABS pumps off S13s, but I think they had to be pre-1991 for some reason and it was still legal. I'm not sure now whether it's a case of if you have an ABS system it has to work, or whether you can still remove them, but obviously it's going to put lights on the dash, so for a street car probably not the best thing to do. Track only, no problem, remove everything. Bin all off, no traction control, obviously no ABS either. Happy days. So that's where I'm going to leave the video for today. I'm really quite pleased with the progress. The arches only took about half an hour to duplicate the other side, so that was quite a quick job. Really relieved that the traction control is disabled. This has been sort of plaguing my mind with worry for a little while now. Now I've proven that it all works. Gives me a little bit more motivation to crack on and get this thing done. As I previously said, for everybody out there that's subscribed, I'm really grateful. It helps the channel no end. I'm aiming for 1,000 subscribers to begin with, which is quite a monumental mission. You know, working in a poorly presented shed with very limited tools, quite slow progress. There's clearly a few people out there that are interested, which is great. It shows what I'm doing is worthwhile. So yeah, if you watch regularly and you haven't subscribed yet, that would help no end. If you could share the video and click the notification bell as well, that all helps with the algorithm, get the video out there. So yeah, thank you very much. See you on the next video.